Hi, I'm David Kelly, Director of Major Projects here at HoldenCAPITAL, and I'd like to talk to you about why your bank mightn't want to give you a second mortgage and what you can do about it. The bank doesn't think you have enough money. When considering a project, a bank wants to be working with a strong sponsor with the ability to invest what they assess to be the required equity, also referred to as skin in the game. Smart sponsors choose to use other people's money, or mezzanine funds via second mortgage funding, to expand the number of projects they can undertake and both leverage and maximise their return on capital. To achieve this, it's critical to give the bank a clear understanding of why the strategy is being used. This needs to be supported by appropriate information, such as statements of position, group cash flows and approved standby arrangements to demonstrate the sponsor's ability to meet their ongoing commitments to the project. The bank does not want potential impediments to its realisation on its security. While banks are reluctant to step in unless it's absolutely necessary, in the event that a development is derailed, the bank will ultimately look to recover its exposure from the sale of the security. Their concern is that with a second mortgage in place, there is potential for that mortgagee to frustrate their actions to recover their exposure by arguing that those actions prejudice their own security position. To help avoid this, it pays to have a reputable mezzanine provider who is known and acceptable to the bank. The level of developers' skin in the game creates commitment. Banks generally take the view that a developer must be contributing at least 10% of the required capital in a project, with equity usually assessed to be 20 to 25% of the total development cost prior to the introduction of mezzanine funding. In the eyes of the banks, this is a different risk to having the capacity to meet your ongoing obligations, as detailed in our first point. Their concern here is that if the equity at risk is sourced by a mezzanine provider, then there is less motivation for the sponsor to take the required action when problems occur, as they have less to lose. And the bank has no power to require the mezzanine lender to act or commit further funds. In many cases, the mezz lender is a passive syndicate of investors with limited ability to raise additional funds or make quick decisions, leaving the bank to deal with project issues, but having to be mindful of the mezz lender's interests, which is something they don't relish. In summary, banks tend to view all second mortgages as complicating deals rather than adding value. It's therefore a negotiating exercise that requires a complete understanding of the interests of all the parties. Getting good professional advice prior to structuring second mortgage funding arrangements is critical when structuring a new project. Please click on the link to download a more detailed summary of this topic.
To find out more, contact the team at HoldenCAPITAL.